What's your name? Yep, you're on the
Your
list.
name wouldn't happen to be Biddy, would it?
Who are you?
My name is
Kurt.
My name is Green. I'm one of the adventurers employed by. What's the name of the guy who's employing us again? David. I am employed by Mr. David here.
That's probably your relative over there. And he points to the table, the body on it.
Yes. When your relative Fan unfortunately perished, I found this on this letter on his body, and I pass you the letter, Biddy.
You notice that one of the names is scribbled off?
No, I don't. I haven't scribbled off the name. It's not been changed.
And you said Adler died as well?
Unfortunately, yes, he perished as well. I have his signet ring here, which I can give you.
Yeah.
He got swallowed.
Yeah, shoveling mount got like finds and shit.
Let me have a close look at the signet ring. So I
pass you the ring.
And as you pass him the ring, he takes off one of his gloves to reveal another signet ring that looks completely identical to the one that you just gave Biddy.
I look at the kid. I'm like, "Don't you miss us? Did you miss
I
believe you then.
I'm very sorry for your loss.
Well, I'm sure Adler died doing what he loved, trying to save people.
Oh, he did. He did.
And Fan was always an idiot.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I wouldn't word it like that, but he was headstrong.
I would.
Of course you would.
you don't want to know how he died.
So, how did Fan ever get involved in this group, huh?
We've actually been monster hunting with our friend Ortovi, and I point to Ortovi, here for a good month.
Hi.
Before coming here.
Hi.
This is real good.
And what brings you
Ortovi's fucking hammered.
This terrible place?
I point to David.
I believe Sir David will be able to explain that better than
Yeah, David nods slowly and says, "Well, we are after this place looking for this place called the Amber Temple, which is supposed to be deep inside Barovia. Supposedly, the first vampire is entombed there, the one that gave rise to this land in the first place. Well, at least that's what the legend says."
After he says that, I go, "I think the vampire's name is Count Strahd von Zarevich?"
Yeah,
David shakes his head. No. He's not the first vampire. He is the first one that the vampire turned into another vampire.
Oh. Well, good, we got that little misconception cleared up.
Yeah, because the people at that house sacrificed their kids to this Strahd dude. He was like, "Not how you worship. What the hell's the matter with you?"
It was not a pleasant
the old woman apparently is still listening to you and kind of chuckles and says, "Oh, he's the master of this of this land of ours, the great Count."
Thanks, Grandma.
Oh, you're welcome, dearie.
I don't know who's older, me or her. I can't tell with humans.
But anyway, David just kind of he doesn't even have a drink in front of him. He's just kind of sighing. So far, it's been no luck in getting any leads as to where we can find this Amber Temple.
Let's ask Grandma. Grandma, where's the Amber Temple?
Oh, I don't know much about anything beyond my home here.
Oh, Well, that was a bust.
Well, it was worth a try. Now,
This poor man here, she pointed at Toby. You should take him to a room for the night.
yes, probably the best.
I think
I
we
go
all
up
need
to
to take a nap.
I go up to the bartender and I basically just book the rooms for everyone.
The bartender points you over at the old woman, and she grins. That would be through me, dearie.
Oh, I go over and I book the rooms then. How much will that cost?
And David at this point steps up and says, "Don't worry, that those costs are on us. It's all part of the package. Remember?"
Oh yes.
Yep.
Sorry,
Does
it's
that
been a
include
long
the
day.
new people?
Thank you.
He kind of looks over at the new people, looks over at you guys, and says, "Are they officially part of your team?"
Yep.
All right. He looks over at the new Windstar and says, I am so sorry to hear of your family members passing. Please, the room will be on us as well."
Thank you.
I look at him and ask him, "Is your family cursed?"
The bard loses it.
Green just pinches the bridge of his nose.
Don't make me stab you.
Please let us avoid any undue bloodshed.
I'm not gonna shed any blood. I'm just curious because you know
Let's
the
save
untimely demise of two of his family members.
I believe that
I'm
was just a
curious.
series of unfortunate events. Very unfortunate.
I don't
Please,
believe it.
can we,
I don't
Nobody's
please.
speaking.
can we go to bed?
All right, I got one more thing. I look at the old lady. I'm like, is there a forge in town?
Yes, there is, dearie. What do you need from it?
I need to melt some shit.
That may take some time, but you can go. You can take a look at the forge.
Okay, I'm
we can
gonna
go
take a nap.
we can go there in the morning. See if we can find some silver weaponry or something like that.
All right.
Fine
Anyway,
here.
Green picks up Ortovi and just Green rouses Ortovi and just guides him upstairs to a bed and then goes to bed himself.
Yep, I'm right behind him.
I grab another drink and take it up with me to find a bed.
There's basically several rooms with several beds apiece. Final Fantasy styled.
Mm-hmm.
But there's enough beds for everybody to sleep in.
Okay, so who's bunking with who?
I just find a random room, go in, and close the door behind me.
We'll let the lady have her privacy.
That sounds fair.
Anyway, so sometime during the night, everybody roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yay, my first saving throw of the
Natural 20.
game. Of this session. And it's 13.
15. I would assume the two Asimars are okay.
All right, the lucky winner is Enna. He's in her own private room.
Oh boy.
Oh. I've got 1 hit point still, don't I?
I mean, you could assume drinking counts as short rest.
What
Maybe.
happened? This is
Can
what
I at
happens
least
when we try to be
roll
chivalrous.
Short rest die back.
Yes, you can get a short rest die back, but basically, as you sleep, you get this eerie sensation in the middle of the night that something is watching you. You feel as if there's fingers gliding over your skin, but when you open your eyes, you see no one there.
You know what? I've dealt with Faye. I get up, I get out of my room, I go next door, bust the door open, and crash on the floor.
All right, you just woke up.
Me.
Omen and Ortovi.
Fine. Guys, I'm crashing here tonight, and I pass out on the floor.
Or
So does
still
that mean
moving in.
I asked her if she would like me to identify her cloak before she goes to sleep.
I throw it at his face.
Cast identify on the cloak for her.
Just gonna
Just
plug
like here. I just want some sleep. I
Before-
don't feel good.
So I'll cast identify on it for her.
Please, what is that cloak? I want to know.
If I recall right, it is a cloak of protection. Let me double check.
Meanwhile, Kurt is sleeping and he's just drooling.
I get the feeling that Kurt and Green are sharing a room right now.
Yep, it's a cloak of it is a cloak of protection.
That's good.
I think you tell her to take some time to it.
So the rest of the night passes by uneventfully.
Mm-hmm.
Or Toby stumbles out of bed, sees her lying on the floor, just goes out the door and goes get drunk.
Green probably wakes up at this point as well. Gets up, does his morning prayers and whatnot to his father, then puts on his gear and goes back down and goes downstairs.
As you do, you see that the old woman is once again over there with her pies, and some people are buying them. They look rather expensive because each person is handing over a gold. And she smiles and waves at you and says, "Ah, your party has received a letter."
Mm.
And she holds up a nice envelope.
Green takes it.
I was just saying, yeah. Hey, what does it say? I can't see.
Yeah.
Damn you,
It's
tall
fine.
people.
Right, let's find a table. Green sits down and he gestures like for everyone to come over, and then he opens the ladder. It says, "Friends, know that it is I who have brought you to this land, my home, and know that I alone can release you from it. I bid you dine at my castle so that we can meet in civilized surroundings. Your passage here will be a safe one. I await your arrival. Your host, Strahd von Zarovich."
Wow. This guy
Wow.
is polite. I think we should go.
I do too. I like the politeness. Food
I get the feeling that this is an invite we can't refuse.
Yeah. I mean,
I
he
completely
didn't seem
agree.
that. It seems like
Even
he did-
David's intrigued by this one as he looks over your shoulders and says, interesting.
And when-
Considering
when
that
the first
that as far as I'm concerned, I was the one that brought us here. Well, except that he looks at the others and says, well, unless he's referring to you folks who did not come originally with us. Perhaps the Strahd character did bring you here.
Could be
You know,
referring.
David, maybe he influenced to bring us here.
Maybe.
Uh,
Either way,
might be what he means.
Let's just assume the worst.
since this is your expedition, David, what is your take on this?
Well, if he does really mean civilized surroundings, and he most likely does, at least for a time, he kind of looks over at Aki and nods a bit, then I suggest that we do indeed meet him. Perhaps he will be able to point the way to what we actually seek.
I think if anybody could, it'd be him.
Well, this is his land. He should know where this Amber Temple is, and legend says it is where he got his power.
My thoughts exactly. In the meantime, I'm going to assume that he is going to assume that we're going to take his offer. So while we're waiting for whatever way to get there, I'm going to go ahead and take a trip to the bridge.
Green will probably go with him.
Take Fawn with you. I'll probably go along. Take Fawn with you, the dead body of the dude we're gonna bury at church.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I look
Pick
at
up.
the new guy. I go, hey, what's your name? Sorry, I didn't catch it.
Name's Biddy.
Rick. Oh, right, Biddy. Biddy, what is he? Is he brother, cousin, uncle, twice removed?
Younger brother. The youngest.
You want to carry him?
I can carry him. That's not a problem. I was going to take him to the church so we can bury him in a grave and say some rites for him.
Well, I figured since he's the elder brother, he'd want to do it for his sibling.
I do look at Biddy and say, if I do this, would you like to join her? Would you like to join me?
Yes, I would like to see my brother.
Before I do that, though, I best quickly go and check something. And what Green goes up? He goes over to the old woman, and he basically states that he would like to bury Farn's body, and asks if that's all right if he does that, considering this is her town.
Oh, of course, dearie. It'll be fine. Nobody's at that church anymore, except maybe spirits.
Oh boy.
We'll do our best to be respectful to the spirits, then.
Thanks, lady.
Thank you very much. Anyway, Green goes over. He picks up Farn's body.
And how many people are heading over to the church?
Me, Kurt, Green, and I don't know if the other people are coming.
Now, is this the first person who died, or is this the second person
first.
who died?
First.
Yeah, it's the guy that you guys never got a chance to meet.
Who this person is then?
The second one
Hey,
got
Anna,
eaten.
if you come with us, I'll buy you another round.
All right, now I'll go.
buy your services with booze.
Yes.
Plus, that guy over there, I pointed to David, he's gonna pay you afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Since you're part of our crew now.
David nods.
We'll be back. We'll be back soon, David. And Green takes Farn's body outside, still wrapped up in his cloak.
All right. So the church. Atop a slight rise, against the roots of the pillar stone that supports Castle Ravenloft, stands a grey, sagging edifice of stone and wood. This church has obviously weathered the assaults of evil for centuries on end, and is worn and weary. A bell tower rises towards the back, and flickering light shines through the holes in the shingled roof. The rafters strain feebly against the load. Several crows, or maybe ravens, sit atop the steeple and seem to be looking down at you through the fog.
Yeah, this might cost more than one drink.
That's
Two.
fine. I got some good shit here in my pocket, and I light my pipe.
Alright, let's go bury him.
Alright. So, as you walk around the side to the cemetery, you see the following. A fence of wrought iron with a rusty gate encloses a rectangular plot of land behind the dilapidated church. Tightly packed gravestones, shrouded by fog, bear the names of souls long past. All seems quiet.
Alright, let's go up to that gate and test the gate then.
Yeah. If the gate is locked, I'll try to lockpick it.
So, the gate just squeaks open easily. It's very rusty. Hasn't been oiled in a long time. And you can see like wild weeds growing up here and there among the tombstones. Obviously, no one's really done anything with this place in some time.
Weeds, gross.
Alright, time to start digging.
Well, let's find a suitable plot of land first.
Yeah, I mean that was
I'm
what I
gonna
meant.
look for a shovel.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look for a shovel too.
So roll a perception check.
While they do that, Green is also going to roll a perception check to try and spot.
Alright. You find a couple of several shovels that's kind of leaning up against tombstone.
Alright, I'll grab two. Take them to the other people.
We look for the nicest plot of land.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
that's
we're
a bit
trying
of a
to-
stretch.
we're trying to find a decent spot of land to pick. Yeah, and once we find it, we start digging.
Alright. So
Standard.
with all of you standing around digging, it only takes about an hour to dig a proper grave.
Dig a hole, dig a hole, dig a hole.
While the ones with shovels are digging the hole, Green goes to the graves that are immediately surrounding the the hole we're digging, and he basically just starts cleaning those of like weeds and like dirt and stuff that's just got on them, basically just clearing them off.
I follow Green's lead. I think there's too much neglect here.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, after a while, you manage to get a couple of the graves cleaned off while your friends are busy, digging things up over there, and eventually, I'm trying to find the right last name here. Sorry, give me a second.
While they're doing that, after we finish digging the hole, we're gonna put his body in there and start burying.
You see names. The last names nearby are a family called Inderovich. Inderovich. I'm trying to do that now. Hold on.
Yeah.
It seems that one there that looks like it's the most recent of the graves has a small headstone with the name Kolian written in it.
How do you spell that?
If that were me, I'd pronounce it Irvich.
Kolyan. Okay.
And yes, you can, RMA.
Taking note of that, one of the other things that when they've dug the hole for fun, as they're lowering his body in, Green just basically he says the same funeral rite he did yesterday for the two ghosts while reading from his prayer book.
I'm doing the same thing as well.
All right.
Biddy is also kneeling down.
Actually, like a hymn. I'm actually singing like a hymn that I learned. I'm singing it in Celestial as I'm burying him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he at least was companionable at certain points in time.
So
Yeah, I sing a prayer as well for just everyone in the cemetery.
So roll a perception check, everyone.
Take that 12.
Yeah, we can find shovels.
Found shovels, but we can't see this.
I can't.
All right, Biddy. As the prayers finish, you think you hear some sort of cry, possibly an inhuman cry, but not a raven cry, coming from somewhere in the vicinity of the church.
I'm busy singing.
Is something the matter?
We should check out the church.
Sure, let's go.
Green kind of just closes his book, puts it away, takes the holy symbol from around his neck, and just, as he did before, just wraps it around the hilt of his blade.
I have a ring on my finger, so I use that to put that punch.
That's all right. Green leads the way towards the church.
All right.
Yeah, I'd like to attempt to stealth.
So as you
wait. Are we starting a fight, guys?
Maybe.
There might be something there, and
so as you reach the front of the doors of the church, you notice that they are, they actually hang a bit askew, and you can see in a bit of the interior, and that the front edifice of the church is completely covered in claw marks, and even has scarring from fire. The ravens are no longer sitting on top of it. They seem to have gone somewhere. As you enter into the hall, you see that the hall is about 10 foot wide by 20 foot long, and that the chapel is brightly lit from the whatever sunlight is coming in from the sky, even with the fog bank. The hall itself has no light, and it reeks of mildew and decay. 4 doors, 2 on each side of the hall, lead to adjacent chambers. You can see from here that the chapel is strewn with old debris, some half covered in vines. And you can suddenly hear another racking scream coming from somewhere down below under the church. And it seems to be echoing up most prominently from behind a door to the east.
Yeah, I'll sneak up to the door.
I'm gonna walk up the door.
Mm-hmm.
Billy will stick up the door as well.
Nice.
Alright. This dirty room contains a wooden bed with a straw-filled mattress, next to which rests a small table with an oil lamp. It's long since burned away. Mounted above the bed's headboard is a wooden sun-shaped holy symbol of some kind. The bed looks like it's the completely moth, eaten away by rodents. It hasn't been used in probably like from years. Neglected. And you can kind of make out what appears to be a trapdoor in the floor. Time and neglect have punched holes in this. Okay. Oh no, wait, that's not. Sorry, that's the wrong room. Ignore the bedroom, the description. This is a different room. Time and neglect have punched holes in the ceiling of this moldy room, which contains a few broken roof shingles amid puddles of water. In one corner, set into the floor, is a heavy wooden trapdoor held shut with a chain and padlock. You can hear the screams of something inhuman coming from below.
Green.
Open the trap door.
No, we don't know what's in there. Don't just randomly open a door where something is screaming behind it. Hello? Through the trapdoor? I'm saying hello to the trapdoor.
The screaming pauses for a moment, and you hear a voice mumble, something, want it, so thirst, so hungry, want it.
Are you alright there, bud?
Alright, I think it's beyond saving. Let's go.
I think
Yep,
he's
time to go.
I mean, do we really want it in here to let someone else find it?
Hey, I'm like, hey, what's your name?
Names are not important.
I don't give a shit. What's your fucking name?
Let me out of here.
No,
Tell us
what's
your
your name?
You just hear the screaming again. No more words reach your ears.
Well, fine, be that way. We'll just leave your stupid ass here.
Just close the trapdoor then.
No, the trapdoor didn't even open. It's locked. It's got a padlock on it.
Oh, okay.
We're
Yeah,
not.
fucking let's leave that shit then. Jesus.
Should we leave it?
Yeah, I'm out the door.
If you say so.
Against Kurt's better judgment, he leaves because, he's still technically good. Doesn't like the idea of someone being trapped.
Well, yes, but but intuition says that thing is not good.
Yeah, that's why he's like, yep, just leave his stupid ass.
It's not.
You do know it's kind of our job to take care of these things, right?
That is true. Oh, it's a
I haven't
monster.
seen the contract, so I'm not bound by it as of now.
Yeah,
we still have Eris to run before we go see Count von Strahd Barovich, whatever.
Yeah, shouldn't we take care of it though?
Well, we know it's here. It's padlocked.
See, that's one of those things that you should ask David about. Like, ask him.
Sure, let's ask David first. Is there any way I could make the lock stronger? In the meantime,
No, it looks like it's been there for years, and whatever it is hasn't gotten through that lock in years. So.
Right, I'll trust it for now. Alright, let's leave it then.
To the forge.
Yep, to the forge.
Alright, so after winding through the town, it's still very gloomy. very overcast. You see the occasional person trudging by. They don't look dead, but they kind of look like zombies in a way. If you know what I mean, they're just kind of like staring out in front, not really paying attention to anything around them, but not hostile.
Shit.
And they look like they're breathing, so.
Running into shit.
Well, not actually running into shits, but, you know. But eventually you make it up to the forge, and you see, like, you know, people, you know, hard at work here, pounding away at metal. One guy looks up at you and says, "Oh, you must be outsiders." Kind of looks you up and down. "What are you?" He kind of points at Kurt.
Well, normally I would be considered a gnome, but now I'm an asthma.
I don't know what any of that is, and I don't like it.
You've never seen a gnome?
He shakes his head.
Seen a gnome?
What?
We're just short people.
Never seen a short person before. Seen lots of weird stuff in my time, but never a person as short as you, Sonny.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: you sir, are much younger than I am.
Don't matter.
Either
You
way.
look like a kid.
Anyways,
Look like I
are you
could
gonna-
just pick you up and put me in a pocket, and that bothers me.
You know, you're absolutely right, but I'm here as a customer, so.
Alright. I don't know about that.
I pull out the box. Can you melt this?
He looks at the box. Where'd you get that?
I found it.
What is it?
It's a silver box.
Grunts slightly. Why would you want to go melt something like that?
Because I think melting silver is. And plus, there's weird shit here, so I'd like to be able to, you know, kill it. It attacks me.
What are you gonna do with that silver? Gonna go hunting werewolves?
If
We
they
are
attack me, yeah.
we are merely
Okay.
acquiring the silver as a form of insurance, just in case we need to defend ourselves. We're not going to go out deliberately hunting these beasts.
Well, yeah. If you're gonna hunt werewolves, or you're gonna defend yourself from werewolves, you tend to run into them more out west, out towards Krezik. They seem to like it out there.
How do you spell that name you just mentioned, Krezik? Okay,
I spelled that right.
interesting.
Well, can you still melt it?
He shrugs. I suppose, but
If
I
we
still don't
were
understand why you want it melted.
If we were to melt it down into a form that could be applied to our weapons, how much would it cost for you to apply it to our weapons, or at least in some way that my friend could use it?
I seem to remember that's in one of the guides somewhere. And I went over it last time, but I don't ever wrote it down.
I think it's 200 to get your weapon silvered, normally speaking. But I don't know, the cost might go down since we provide silver. I don't know.
Yeah. So let's see.
Plus, I'm sure David wouldn't mind covering it.
No, I believe it when it came to equipment and getting our weapons silvered, that was all.
Yeah, that was all on you guys. He basically gave you he basically gave you about 100 gold earlier on, in order to buy supplies and everything and do whatever you need doing.
Yeah.
The guy looks at it and says, "Well, if you want to apply to a weapon, you're giving me the materials, so it'll cost you about 100 gold for labor for one weapon."
How much does everybody have?
15.
I don't know. Grizz never told me how much I got.
Oh, you get you have whatever starting money you would have for your class.
Oh,
I
okay.
have
Let me
36.
look that up then.
25.
15.
So that's
Yeah, not enough.
So that's 30. So that's 35, 15, 15. So that's 65 plus 5, 15.
I had 25.
Oh, 25. Okay, 25 plus 15. So
And I have 36.
Let's on it and keep the silver with us, and do it at a later date when we have more money.
all right.
Yeah, that bothers me, but we don't have the money right now. Thanks, guy. Appreciate the information.
Eh.
Yep.
He seems indifferent towards you and goes back to his work.
As thanks for the information, I do pop a couple silver down on the side.
He nods towards you and gets back to pounding out some weapons.
Right, let's head back to the tavern.
After we get a good distance away, I'm like, that bastard. Fucking never seen short people before. Fucking punch him in the fucking face.
This place, and Green just turns to this. Remember, this place is sealed off from the world for over 100 years.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean there's no gnomes here. Apparently, that's the case.
The case, it may not be the case. We'll have to see.
Anywho, let's yeah.
Let's head back.
Our ride might be there by now.
If not, we'll have to find our own way there.
Oh yeah. Well, ask the old lady. She probably knows how to get there. As the burger master, she probably, with him about. I guess that's not fun. That lady's loony.
So, David and Aki have, got gathered the equipment together, and look like they're ready to head on to the road along with Ramona, the carriage driver.
All right, Kurt's gonna hop in the carriage.
Guess Biddy will also hop in the carriage.
All right, he said, I think we have directions, and I told if we're going to the castle, and I think that's a good idea since we're strangers to this land, and talking to the lord of this land is a reasonable request.
One thing Green. One of the things Green also does is he basically just takes the invitation. He takes the invitation and he passes it to David since he's leader of the party.
David takes it and nods. Thanks. We might need this to get in.
Besides, Dave, it's not like we haven't dealt with vampires before.
He laughs. Yeah, I got vampires in my relatives.
Just a shame we couldn't get our weapon.
My old boss.
You guys have dealt with vampires before?
Yes, we've hunted monsters before.
Where we're from, I put to myself, Dave and Aki. Where we're from, vampires are the ruling party.
It's a long story. I don't know where you're from, but our land has what's called living vampires in it, and well, that's how you get vampires as family members. At least in my land. Alright, so after a little bit, you end up passing by the river. It's a nice sky. This river flows as clear as a blue winter sky through the valley, and you can kind of look over at that as you're passing over the 50-foot wide river thing here. And you continue on, heading deeper, following the road. Finally, you come across the crossroads. David kind of has the cart hold up and kind of looks around at it. The description is as follows. An old wooden gallows creak in the chill wind that flows down from the high ground to the west. A frayed length of rope dances from its beam. The well-worn road splits here, and a signpost opposite the gallows points off in 3 directions. Barovia village to the east, Teaser Pool to the northwest, and Ravenloft Vallaki to the southwest. The northwest fork slants down and disappears into the trees, while the southwest fork clings to the upward slope. Across from the gallows, a low wall crumbling in places, partially encloses a small plot of graves surrounded in fog.
Now we know where we're going.
It looks like, David says as he nods towards the sign, that we are going northwest, and he piles back onto the cart. Do you guys wish to attempt to change his mind on anything, or are you fine with going that direction?
What
Fine
was
with going that
northwest
direction.
again?
I'm sorry, what?
What was northwest again?
Northwest is where we're headed. It's Ravenloft / Falaki. Oh no, sorry, no, that's southwest. Sorry, northwest says Teaser Pool. Blah, I hate the way these things are written down.
So we're going
Figure it
south,
out.
right?
You're going southwest, yes.
Yeah, I'll follow that.
Yeah.
As the cart begins to pull away, you hear a creaking noise behind you, coming from the gallows. Where there was there's nothing there before, now hangs a lifeless gray body. The breeze turns the hanged figure slowly so it can fix its dead eyes upon you. And it looks exactly like the remaining wind star in the party.
Come on.
Wow. I suspected, but I think I'm pretty sure. I think your family's cursed, dude.
Yeah, I think you should change your last name to something like.
I refuse.
I mean, when I asked earlier, I wasn't trying to be a dick. I'm convinced your family's cursed.
My family is not cursed, thank you.
No, that right there looks pretty cursed to me.
Yeah, and like,
It's either his family that's cursed or the land that's trying to make us think
It's
that.
this stupid land.
two of your brothers died within 5 hours of each other. I think you're pretty cursed.
Yeah, well,
I mean-
Fan never learned how to use a sword, so no surprise with his death. As for Adler, I don't get he died.
Alright, whatever.
Didn't get along, did you, Sasaki? Alright. Alright. You follow the river to the base of a canyon, at the far end of which is a great waterfall spills into a pool, billowing forth clouds of cold mist. A great stone bridge spans the canyon nearly 1,000 feet overhead.
Huh. Nice place.
Indeed.
Are we still going?
Yeah, we're still going.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like we stopped and now we're, admiring the architecture. I mean, Kurt doesn't mind. He likes a good,
Yeah.
nice castle, more next to the next.
So you guys take a turn here towards the castle, as you can now see in the distance, as you're winding up and up this cliff face. Through the winding roads. Alright. After winding through the forest and craggy mountain peaks, the road takes a sudden turn to the east, and the startling, awesome presence of Castle Ravenloft towers before you. Your carriage comes to a dead stop before twin turrets of stone, broken from years of exposure. Beyond these guard towers is the precipice of a 50-foot wide, bog-filled chasm that disappears in unknown depths. A lower drawbridge of old, shored-up wooden beams stretches across the chasm between you and the archway to the courtyard. The chains of the drawbridge creak in the wind, their rusty iron straining under the weight. From atop the high walls, stone gargoyles stare at you from out their hollow eye sockets and grin hideously.
I wave at them.
A rotten wooden
I wave.
portcullis, green with growth, hangs above the entry tunnel. Beyond this location, the main doors of Ravenloft stand open. A rich, warm light spills from within, flooding the courtyard. Torches flutter sadly in sconces on both sides of the open doors.
Well, what a nice place this guy has.
Yeah, I agree.
David looks us all over and kind of
Gargoyles.
nods at Ramona. The gargoyles remain motionless on the up there on the battlements. And I shall move you to Castle Ravenloft.
Well, we were invited, so attacking your guests is kind of rude.
Yes, it is.
And his invitation did say our passage would be safe.
Yep.
Our passage would. I don't know if our dinner will.
Let's hope it is.
The carriage, rolls right into the courtyard. Ramona seems like she's a little bit out of sorts at first, going underneath the portcullis. But everything is fine. So you guys, she lets you guys off here and parks the carriage.
All right, Green hops down.
I got my pipe going. Yep.
Oops. Token's messed up.
My God.
Oh, Cave, you had some. You're lagging out really bad there.
Oh, okay.
This token. All right, so you're staring out at the front of the great elegant castle, looking up at the appear to be gargoyles. Maybe they're just statues of gargoyles up above you.
Did you say?
Currently, you're in the front courtyard. What? Can you repeat that?
Did you say they smiled at us?
No, they hadn't moved. They aren't moving. Nope. I was continuing to read on, and you kind of talked in the middle of the reading.
Sorry about that.
I wasn't responding to anything you did at that time. I was actually just continuing to read. Thick, cold fog swirls in this courtyard. Sporadic flashes of lightning glance the weeping clouds overhead as the thunder shakes the ground. Through the drizzle, you see torch flames fluttering on each side of the keep's open main doors. Warm light spills out of the entrance, flooding the courtyard. High above the entrance is a round window with shards of broken glass lodged in the iron frame. You can feel a slight chill coming through your bones as water lands on you. Center courtyard gates. That's not where you are. So you're just gonna head right into the castle? The doors are open and waiting for you.
Would be rude not to.
Yeah.
Into the woods.
Keep him waiting.
Come to die for your truth.
I wish more than anything, more than life. I wish to go to the festival.
Rush to go to
Okay,
Sorry.
now I have that
Yes!
stuck in my head. I hate you guys.
Yes! The bard
I
is
was
awesome!
Yeah, I have that in my musical collection and my comedy collection.
Yeah, I had the...
Hey,
Yeah.
Jen's watching us. Hey, Jen.
Ooh, Jen! Hi, Jen!
Let's see. So you're standing in front of the open doors. Dynamic lighting. I don't want to delete that quite yet. So that squeaks
Just
open.
outside or inside, I can't tell.
You are currently standing outside, but you're looking in front of the interior of the place. The ornate doors of the castle hang open, flanked by fluttering torches and iron sconces. 20 feet inside the castle is a second set of doors, which also hang open.
I can't see
You
anything.
I will fix your token in a second if you stop. rule of thumb: do not move your token if I'm still talking. I can't see where
Oh.
you're moving, and if you run into a trap, you die. And I don't have mercy on you when you do that. So I hadn't finished reading it. I'm sorry. So the doors are open, revealing a grand hall filled with the sound of organ music. And I need to fix his token before that.
Someone's. What do you think, Anna? How would you rate this guy's organ play?
I don't know. He'd have to roll for it. No, it's pretty decent. It sounds like he's had a few decades of experience.
I'm gonna go with maybe a couple centuries.
Okay, you should be able to see now.
Ah, let there be light.
I can see.
Alright, so
I can fight.
Alright, so you're inside there, you're hearing music. And as you're looking ahead into this the great entry over here, you see cobwebs stretched between the columns that support the vaulted ceiling of a great dusty hall, dimly lit by sputtering torches and iron sconces. The torches cast odd shadows across the faces of 8 stone gargoyles, squatting motionlessly on the rim of the domed ceiling. Cracked and faded ceiling frescoes are covered by decay. Double doors of bronze stand closed to the east. To the north, a wide staircase climbs into darkness. A lit hallway to the south contains another set of bronze doors, through which you hear the sound of majestic organ tones.
He really should have cleaned up.
Is there no one here to us?
Evidently not. Apparently you're just meant to follow the organ music.
But
Except, as you guys step in there,
we're missing someone. Hey, everybody's here to get fucked over.
hold on. Come here. I knew the token was somewhere.
We should be safe.
But as you guys finish walking in, an elf with brown skin and long black hair descends the wide staircase, quiet as a cat. He wears a grey cloak over his black studded leather armor and has a polished scimitar hanging from his belt. "My master is expecting you," he says.
Okay.
Nice. Can you show us to where we should in?
"This way, please."
Alright.
Okie dokie there, Lurch.
So like, how many servants are here?
Roll a perception check.
Okay.
Alright.
17.
All is well. Alright, so he starts leading you guys down south here.
Oh my.
And that's a nice suit of armor.
Torchlight flutters against the walls of this vaulted hall. To the east, an arched hallway stretches for 20 feet, ending at a spiral staircase that goes up and down. Next to the hallway, a suit of armor, oiled and glistening, stands at attention in a shadowy alcove. To the west, large double doors hang slightly open, and a steady, bright light escapes through the opening. Swells of organ music come from behind the doors, spilling the melody of power and defeat into the hall.
Yes, that's where Strahd is.
Of course, the elf guy kind of stands there and gestures with his hands to go in.
Good thing. Should we go sit at the table?
I'm sitting down.
Or,
All right,
go.
let me read the description of the dining hall for you. 3 enormous crystal chandeliers brilliantly illuminate this magnificent chamber. Pillars of stone stand against the dull white marble wall, supporting the ceiling. In the center of the room, a long, heavy table is covered with a fine white satin cloth. The table is laden with many delectable foods: roasted beast basted in savory sauce, roots and herbs of every taste, and sweet fruit and vegetables. Places are set for each of you with fine, delicate china and silver. At each place is a crystal goblet filled with an amber liquid with a delicate, tantalizing fragrance. At the center of the far west wall, between floor-to-ceiling mirrors, stands a massive organ. Its pipes blare out a thunderous melody that speaks in its tones of greatness and despair. Seated at the organ, facing away from you, a single caped figure pounds the keys in raptured ecstasy. The figure suddenly stops, and a deep silence falls over the dining hall as he turns to you.
Oh, those.
Omen, are you not going in? I just wanted to check.
He's deciding.
I'm standing on the chair.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, this is who you see standing there.
Oh,
And
he does.
I think I have a handout for the elf guy as well. Hold on. And this is the elf that was showing you to this area.
Rahim.
He looks friendly. Huh?
No.
He has a cut on his forehead.
I mean,
He
yeah.
looks as friendly as a cobra.
He doesn't look specifically evil. He just looks kind of douchey.
That's what I was thinking too.
So you called you for a reason, I assume, Strahd von Zerovich?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
He doesn't.
I assume that you invited us here for more than just dinner, Strahd von Zerovich.
Yes.
Forgive my friend. He doesn't know proper respect.
He kind of Strahd glances over towards Biddy. You should sit down now.
I would rather not.
Sit before bad shit happens to you like your family.
I feel more comfortable when I can move around instead of being seated.
Don't be rude to our host. He asked you to take a seat. Just take a seat.
See, this is what happened to your brothers.
And I'm
True.
politely declining. Just
It's your funeral, man. I'll sit down. I'm sitting right next to the dude. Do you see any fear in my eyes?
I don't fear him per se.
Then sit down.
The other guy comes up and just walks, standing right next to you. Since you appear to not be, you're the only one not sitting. Strahd decides to ignore you at that point and looks over towards the rest of the group. As to why I've called you here, you seem to have done me a great service recently, and I felt it only fitting that I reward you.
That's very
Um,
nice of you.
did we do?
You took care of that disgusting place over in Barovia Village. Kind of makes a weird
definitely.
face.
Yeah, we didn't like it.
Yes.
Yeah, they're kind of douchey. They sacrifice their own children. That's not right.
Well, it happened a long time ago, but a terrible curse had fallen upon it afterwards, and it still continued to do the same damage that it did in life. It kind of narrows his eyes.
Well, there was this ghost cult there, like a bunch of dudes and ghosts who were like ghostly and black. They sticked a trash monster on us and killed it.
Well, you are to be commended. Please enjoy the
Thank
food.
you,
Now, is this the only way that we are being rewarded is by food?
Why, my lady, do you have another wish instead? He seems to be gazing at you in a...
Well, I just simply mean that this place has obviously been a burden upon you. It's my life in the process of being captured and almost sacrificed, and you're offering us dinner. I'm simply wondering what this is all worth to you and if dinner is the proper reward.
He actually starts chuckling softly. My. It is also true that I brought you to this land. He kind of glances over at David and, Kurt and Otovi. Although, it seems that some of you came here of your own accord.
Sort of, yeah.
We were asked to escort our companions, I put David and Aki, and we agreed to come here and guard them while they do research on a location here in Barovia.
I see.
Wait,
And
what
just
you're-
what location would that be?
David?
David kind of takes a sip of the wine, nodding a bit, and says, well, we are searching for the Amber Temple. Strahd lifts an eyebrow in response to that. Yes, many have come in search of such a place. I myself originally came to this valley in search of the Amber Temple. But why should I consider telling you where it is? At this, he's kind of challenging the rest of you.
Because we helped you out.
That was a mere pittance.
We are here for research. David here was interested in researching the Amber Temple, and that's the reason why we're here. That's
Well,
as far as Kurt knows.
I have no interest in telling you where the Amber Temple is, at least not at this time. I might be willing to change my mind if you assist with a few other things around my lands.
Now,
And
if I may interject.
And then no, bad.
Let the lady speak, Strahd demands, his eyes narrowing at Kurt.
As you wish.
Thank you, kind sir. If I may ask, I understand that my companions, they are looking for this temple. However, I do understand that you want us to do some things for you if we may get that information. I am looking for items or equipment to help us with whatever you need us to do, so that way we can be more efficient and get things done. Would you happen to have anything that would assist us on our journey in helping you on your quests?
He actually starts to chuckle and then go into a full-blown laugh at such a comment, but a grin is stretching his face wide, showing off a bit of fang. Why, what a bold one you are. Yes. Let's just say, if you show yourself to be a good friend to me, then I'll be more amenable to part with a few items.
Well, I do appreciate the food here, and I just wanted to see if there was a way that we could both work together without starting to point fingers. For your consideration, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to eat some now.
The food tastes delicious. It's even better than anything you ran into in the Feywild, as far as you're concerned.
So,
of course, in some ways, it reminds you of a bit of the food in the Feywild in terms of it's kind of magically delicious.
Yeah, it's magically delicious.
Uh-huh.
It may or may not come back to bite you someday.
That's
So,
alright. I've already barely escaped the Feywild. I'm like, fudge it. Now I'm turned into this vampire, and I can't get crap out of them.
Now you're in a demi-plane associated with the Shadowfen, a domain of dread. So
Yeah, I go from one frying pan. Not saying.
Toby isn't eating. He doesn't have much appetite at the moment.
So, Count Strahd, what is it that you would like to accomplish for
one step at a time, small one. He takes a sip of his wine, although he doesn't seem to be as pleased by it as the rest of you are.
I haven't drank it yet.
Well,
I'm
the rest
still
of you
having-
who are actually drinking and eating are.
I think
But,
I'm the only person.
And who
No,
are actually
David is eating, and even Aki's eating. So remember, they're used to they're used to vampires in their homeland. So
Well, I mean, I've taken a bite or two, but I'm not drinking.
yeah. But no, he's says, well, the first thing I would like for you to do is to head to the village of the town of Vallaki and speak to my friends there. They've had a problem in the last few years. The town has been divided between two factions. And my friend, Lady Watcherhouse, could use some assistance in rectifying this situation. Go, help her unify the town. And then maybe we will talk some more about what you might do for me, and what I might give you in order to help me with it. Kind of gazes around the table. He looks at Anna, and then he looks at the rest of you. Says, well, not all of you should go. I would like a little bit of companionship until you come back.
Like,
And who would you like to stay with you?
He kind of looks at Anna and looks at Aki and says, well, one of you would probably be the best in terms of companions. The two most lovely looking people at this table.
And what do you mean by companionship? I understand we all get lonely sometimes. What are you looking for?
Are you attempting to proposition the vampire?
No, I'm trying to figure out if the vampire is going to proposition me or not.
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh, persuasion, huh?
Mm-hmm.
oh boy. Oh, that's good.
That is something to best discuss when there's not as many people at the table.
Oh
Stranger
my.
danger. Stranger danger. Yeah, give us a lot of
The red-haired young man kind of looks at the rest of you and says, "If one of us must stay, then I should be the one to stay."
What do you think, dude?
I shoot the redhead a glare. I shoot
Move
the
it in on your
redhead
man,
a
huh?
menace glare.
You want to seduce Strahd, I take it?
Well, I wasn't going that way, but then I was thinking this could be really beneficial for me if I get it instead. And I'm going to intimidate the redhead to step the F down.
Oh god! Roll your intimidation.
Why? Just why?
Oh,
So what am I rolling, Grizz? Which
Intimidation.
one? Okay. God damn it.
Please.
He just kind of smiles a little at you and says,
God.
"We do not need to fight about this, you know. We could both entertain him."
I would rather us both than you by yourself.
Oh, that's great.
Because
It
at
looks
least
like a
then
puppy.
we would have some serious companionship.
I'm fucking done.
Kurt fucking
But he's just laughing.
face pause. He's like, oh
This
my
entire
god.
situation, he's just laughing.
Well, see, Kurt actually knew the kid when he was 8, so for him this is even more so.
Oh my god. This kid hit puberty hard. Holy shit.
Well, he's 18 now. He's a young man.
I know. He's still a child to Kurt, though.
Oh, this is priceless.
Humans
Who's
age
this
quickly.
redhead
Not
who
a,
wants to stay? I've got questions.
David, who's employing the rest of everybody, says, "Well, see, he is my father's godson and a close friend of the family, and he's working. He's also a titled lord, but that since his family is currently at low standing in the council, he's pretty much earning his way by working today as my bodyguard. As an old friend of, his father and my father were good friends, and well, his father passed away, and now he's protecting me on this journey. And evidently, this one, David looks over at Kurt, knows him.
Yep. Known him for a while. Yeah, I knew him when he was a kid. Well, for humans.
When I was 8, the redhead admits. Kurt here, he looks over at Kurt, helped rescue me from something nasty.
It was very nasty. Just kind of rude, too. It's a damn shame. You, however, are not.
Strahd, are you sure you only need one companion?
Oh my god.
You are welcome to stay if you wish, my dear.
Biddy just whispers. Does Strahd always do this to his guests?
The elf kind of looks at you and says, "Oh, he has had many interesting companionship over the years."
So that's.
And how long do they last?
Oh, they're still around, sort of.
That's not comforting, is it? Sort of.
Well, I guess we better go and take care of that division in the town then.
Instantly changed.
Hey, I want to get laid just as much as the next guy or girl. Vampire. But whenever it comes to possibly not making it out alive, I'll change my tune.
Well, if you want to get laid by a vampire, you can just come back to our country with us. Our country's full of vampires.
Oh, really now, Strahd says, kind of eyeing Kurt up.
Yep.
How fascinating.
Indeed.
Biddy, can you roll a perception check for me?
Yes. This is exactly why I'm not sitting at that table.
You haven't seen anything out of the ordinary. All right. So this sounds like a good place to leave it off for the week, especially since I know Quentin's either asleep now or falling asleep. So
Not yet.
I've seen you fall asleep on us before.
That was one time.
Just
Yeah.
that one time.
That was
Yeah,
like-
but
Time is all we need.
it's also at a good stopping point because you've made your peace with Strahd. He's given you a quest for you guys to do. So I'm thinking that would be a good place to stop for the week, and you guys can decide how you want to play it for next time.
Mm-hmm.
And congratulations, no Windstars died in the making of this episode.
That's not even because the Winstar didn't get to do anything, really.
Well, that's how you survive.
You had several opportunities to possibly be killed, so. But yeah, for the most part, there wasn't that too much stuff for that, but yeah. So good night to anybody on Twitch.
Night,